Welcome to today's video, and I'm going to start off by saying I am pumped because this is the start of a new journey for me, a new car, make and model that I've never owned before and never, no, don't get started, I'm not buying a car in this video. I'm not buying one of these cars yet, but I plan to in the future, and I figured it would be good to start off with checking out a shop close by here in Kanagawa, Yokohama called Garage HRS. They specialize in Evos. So you guys know, I've talked about this before, but I'm a really big fan of Evos 5s and 6s, and I thought it was a good idea to kind of go check out this shop. And the main reason of that is also John is here, which is also why there's a lot of JZX chassis here and JZA chassis. These are pretty much all the JZX chassis and the Supra are all either John's cars or his customers' cars. So he does a bit of outsourcing work where, you know, he's able to use the shop space and work on his customers' cars. So let's clear that out of the way. But Garage HRS is known for Evos. And it's really cool that this place is so close to me. Let's go inside and have a look at what they got going on. But I think you can kind of gather what's happening. So what are you boys doing right now? Knuckles?
Yeah, Knuckles to Matsuri.
Yeah, it's Matsuri this weekend, so they're throwing on some reverse Knuckles. Knuckles that don't break. But this is Roab. This is the guy that owns that Skyline. So...
I don't know what you're talking about.
He may not own it anymore. Anyways, they're getting it prepped for Matsuri this weekend, which I don't think I'm going to. Just got some other things organized. They keep trying to scumbag me into going. Hey, I didn't know you could get the triangle tires over here. Are they cheap? They good?
They're good. They're cheap. We like to use them because they're cheap, they last long, and they're wide enough, so they'll last.
Yeah. Can you get them in 265s pretty cheap?
Yes.
Yeah. What do they cost? Like 5,000 yen a pop?
I think they're like. What are they, like 8,500?
Okay.
7,000.
And you just run really low PSI and...
Yeah, we run about, what do you call it, 20 PSI?
Yep. And they last pretty well. Do you run them in reverse or normal?
Normal, I just run them normal.
Okay.
This house don't really need a lot of grip on them.
Okay. Yeah. Alright. Yeah. Interesting. I might have to try them out. I normally run the Silens. They're like super cheap, and as long as you run low pressure in them, they're pretty good too.
Do they last?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good, yeah. I can normally go through like 2 for a full day. 2 pairs.
Well, on triangles, last time I went to Matsuri, I spent 2 days up there and I only went through 4 tires in the back, that's it.
What horsepower are you running?
350-ish.
Okay, yeah, so not too far off from me. Yeah. Interesting. I definitely want to try out triangles.
Oh, you should.
They look like Kendas.
Them and then Kendas, so they
Oh, there they are.
about the same.
Yeah. Kendas went up in price like a few years ago. Hey, it hurt a lot. Anyways. So yeah, as you can see, 2 Evos on the hoist right now. One of the staff is working on this one. Looks like he's doing brake stuff. But yeah, the goal is one day soon to hopefully get an Evo. And my goal would be a 5 or a 6. That's what I'm hoping for. There's an Impreza under the cover here. I love that it's the only car undercover because the Evo specialist shop. Do they not want people to know they're working on Imprezas? Whole bunch of cool parts up the back here. Looks like a 4G63 block and intake manifolds. Just as probably like the spare parts bin, heads, all the stuff that I want to see actually, because if I do get one of these cars, I need to know that I can find parts and get parts for them pretty easily and quickly around the corner and get advice and help. This is kind of where John's doing a bunch of his work as well on transmissions. He's been doing a lot of rebuild work on them and like dog boxes and stuff. He's got a CDO9 Z transmission there that he's going to do a full rebuild on, which is pretty sick. Jeez. Just noticed the shifter. I don't know what car this used to be in, but they bent that a lot to make it kind of work. Yeah, they cut and weld it here. This is a big thing that they did in Japan when they were putting these in like SR powered cars. They'd cut and weld the factory one there and then just make their own bracket to make it a short shifter. But as you guys know, like GK Tech and Serial 9 and a whole bunch of other companies have now developed like a full kit that replaces that whole thing and makes it even shorter. It's really useful for fitting in air chassis. Anyways, so yeah, this is the HRS garage. Pretty cool little Japanese shop. Come to the front of the office here and have a look at some of the stuff they got on display. Oof, that's a cool looking engine with a nice plenum intake. Yo, old option DVDs and stuff. That's sick. Yeah. Some old seats. More Evo parts, clutches, flywheels, coilovers. It's cool. Drive shafts. And this is some old stuff here. Interesting. What transmission is that? Now I know where I can get my Redline oils from. It's good to know there's a shop close by. This place is literally only 30 minutes from me, by the way, so really handy. One of the most common things on Evos to break, I remember reading, are the thermostat housings. Look at how many brand new ones they have there.
Put it like that.
Knuckles on a JZX are interesting. Way more easier than a Nissan.
It is. That should be enough.
That's insane. That's literally the Knuckle there, right?
Yep.
So cool. If this was a Nissan, you'd be like an hour in before you'd even get to changing them out.
Did you just pull his ABS up? He doesn't need ABS.
And there you go, new Knuckles going on, just like that. Where's the factory OEM one? I want to look at that. Wow, that's way longer, hey. Oh, wow. Jeez, that's going to give him a bit of angle, eh? That's pretty cool. Got to start learning about this chassis too. Things happening, moving on up. So that was a little bit of fun shenanigans with the guys. See him? What a mad lad. I don't know if I caught that on camera. Waving one of those police light up sticks out the door. But yeah, anyways, just hanging out with John and the guys. I wish I was going to Matsuri with them this weekend. Plans still may change, I don't know yet. But I do know right now that I'm probably not going, just because I don't have like this car ready. I don't have tires. Like, if I'm going to Mitsuri, spend 2 days drifting, I want to be prepared, and I'm definitely not prepared, so I don't feel comfortable just randomly driving up there. If I do go there, it'll just be to check out and hang out with people. Anyways, I'm just really excited to be around some cars that I definitely want to own in the future, especially the JZX chassis and the Evo chassis, all things that I just want to observe and learn from. And I'm sure you guys can gather, like, from me spending so much time at Yashio Factory and things like that, and Okachan, like being able to learn so much about the S chassis and the S15 and the SR engine and stuff like that has really helped me a lot with diagnosing problems and just all these tricks and things like that that I learned from him that I could also implicate and use to solve problems and troubleshoot issues on my Skyline as well, which was also really helpful. So anyways, with that, I've got a bit more data logging to do on my Skyline today, actually, for the tune. So I'm going to jump on the road, do some data logging and have a bit of fun, and we'll see what else happens today for the vlog. So for the rest of the afternoon, I actually want to do some work on the S15. I need to go over a bunch of stuff, but one thing I did notice when we were drifting this the other day is temps were rising a little bit higher. Now, Okachan did explain to me that it's because it's missing the little black strip that like connects down the bottom of the fan shroud, so a whole bunch of air is like escaping and not being pulled through by the fan. So that's a really easy fix to get more airflow through there. I do have an upgraded radiator. It's not an OEM one. It does look like an OEM one, but this is one of Okachan's, the Yashio Factory copper ones. So it actually absorbs and dissipates heat way faster than an aluminium one. It's the most efficient radiator that you should get for your S chassis. Now that aside, I still have a little bit of coolant loss issue, and that isn't because there's a leak or anything like that anywhere. It's straight up because my coolant overflow bottle is just absolute junk. Everything's all hooked up here. It goes to the overflow bottle, but it has this really weird kind of like thing on the side so you can see like the level, and it's just broken. Like, I'm pretty sure I can just pull this straight up and out. Yeah, there it goes. It broke completely in half now. So the coolant overflow bottle hasn't been working. So whenever this thing's been overflowing and heating up and expanding, it's just been dumping out into the engine bay and onto the floor. So that's why we've got a little bit of loss of coolant, because as like you're drifting and things heat up and cool down and heat up and cool down, it uses that to kind of push coolant out and suck it back in, and vice versa. So that is something I want to fix, and I'm going to get an entirely different coolant overflow bottle from Chase Bays, and I want to plan to tidy up this bay. And you guys know we're changing the hot side soon, and with that I want to relocate the battery, get my coolant overflow on this side, and just make things so much nicer. I hate that there just seems to be so many wires and pipes everywhere. Like this drives me insane here, that drives me insane all there. That all has to be tidied up. Like, look at this here, look at that just no. All right, no. And like this here is killing me. Like, just stuff like that where like, we were in a rush to get this car running and we just kind of threw it together, and sure, it works, but it's not a nice looking engine bay. And I do admit that the valve cover and the top mount turbo kind of distracts you from all of that, but it doesn't mean that I don't know it's there. So that's definitely something I want to fix. I also I don't see the point in having an overflow bottle for my transmission, so I'm going to remove that as well. There's just a bunch of stuff in here I want to tidy up. So I'm going to spend a bit of time going over everything, taking note and putting things in my iPhone in my notes section, just stuff that I need to order. I'm definitely ordering a Chase Base overflow bottle. I really like their design. I'm going to look into getting a battery relocation kit as well, so we can move this battery in the boot. And that's another little bit of an issue, because obviously, like in the trunk, I need to, I can't lean over that far. I need to keep some space because, you know, we take everything with us when we go drifting. As you can see, my car's full, but I'm pretty certain that I'll be able to make it fit in right in here. It is a small battery, and I think like this space never gets used really by anything, so I should be able to make it fit there. We'll just have to move some of the water lines and the wires here for the water bottle, but I think that that'll work really, really well. And I do need to get a new lid for this, because I noticed that this had completely cracked and split on the weekend, but it's just a simple water bottle lid that I can get from a hardware store. So these things are sold everywhere in Japan at hardware shops, so shouldn't be a problem. And that's pretty much it. Like, it's super simple stuff, but I just want to tidy up the engine bay and get this thing like looking way better. So I managed to make some space by moving the charcoal canister, which is also another thing that I want to delete, because this thing is just, yeah, it's ugly and it's not really needed. I found some clear vacuum tubing that came with one of my gauges, and I managed to get one of the sleeves on there. So if this doesn't seal and not leak, then my plan B is JB Weld, page from Rudnick's book. So I'm going to try and squeeze this on there, and then I'll cut this to length and then get the other sleeve on there and tighten that and hope this doesn't leak. And then this will be a temporary solution for this overflow bottle until I can get the new one set up and relocate the battery, because yeah, I just want this engine bay to look way nicer than it currently is. So we might as well do that. We've got some other things happening later on as well, which are obviously going to tidy up things even more. So let's see if this is gonna work. Hopefully it does, because I am sick of this thing leaking. It's gonna stop leaking today, whether this hose works or I JB weld it. So I'd prefer it if this hose works, because then these actually sell for a lot of money in Japan. They're like made by some brand that's kind of like super popular and all the kids want them. So I think it's like Billion or something the name is. Same brand as my power steering reservoir, which I don't like. This is another thing I'm replacing. Alright, that seems to be on there pretty tight. Oh, it's nice. The tube actually works. Alright, we'll leave it some space in the top. There we go. It's kind of nice. It actually works. Doesn't seem to leak either. Nice. Alright, it's a little bit kind of too long. As you can see, it's kind of flexing out a bit, but I don't care, because as long as it doesn't leak, that's all I care about. So now that I've fixed that level indicator, it's actually not leaking, which is a win. I do need to monitor it though, because once this piping like heats up in the engine bay, these will probably need tightening one more time. But for now, it's good and it's not leaking, and we have a working overflow bottle. Super simple fix for something that can cause a lot of issues. Like I said, when your engine's like coming up to temp and things like that, you know, fluids are exchanged backwards and forwards from the overflow bottle, and one of the most important things of having that there is to stop air getting back into your cooling system and to help your car like naturally bleed air out as well. So super important to have. I know a lot of people sometimes don't even run them. It's just a no-no. Don't do it, guys. I need to zip tie that back in there, and then we're kind of done. So simple little fix on the S15, but something that can have a pretty big effect on your cooling and you having a bad time eventually. So here is where I'm going to end today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed that quick little look at Garage HRS, and that's kind of like a standard layout, or like kind of like, I guess, like the standard Japanese workshop kind of setup. It's kind of small, but they do so much work there. I know there wasn't too much happening with the Evo stuff and whatnot, but it's still really, really cool. And like I said, I'm excited that I'm now have the opportunity to be around some of these other chassis that I want to learn about, because I do want to own them sometime soon in the near future. Number one on my priority is a JZX 100. I need an Ebisu missile, so that's going to be happening sooner rather than later. I need to tick some things off though before we can get that. But I hope you guys are excited and pumped. There's going to be some cool JZX content and some Evo content coming in the near distant future. So tell me in the comment section if you're pumped for that. And guys, smash the like button, write us a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you're still watching this and you're wondering what's happening with the merch and everything like that with the shipping delays, still currently JP Post, even though they did release an update, they are still not allowing airmail for international shipping. So I am really starting to consider surface mail for shipping everything. The only problem is that has a 2-month ETA from the moment I drop it off at the post office. And I also need to set up like a special business account with them. So we're in the process of sorting out all that paperwork, but there's another, like, because it's Obon week, it's a holiday right now in Japan for a full week. We have to wait till after that before we can do like set up the business account. So if there is no, like, there isn't another update that says that airmail will be happening anytime soon in the next 7 days after Obon week, like in that week, then I'm sending everything with surface mail. It will take 2 months for everything to get to you, but that way at least the orders will start shipping, and I will start promoting, you know, the merch store and releasing new products again. It just means that items are going to take up to 2 months in shipping to get to you. So I hope you guys, I know tons of you understand the situation, and I thank you so much for that. It is killing me that we can't get our merch out to you. And I know there are other courier services that are shipping out of Japan, but those are like, you know, FedEx, DHL, UPS, and to ship just like one package is like minimum $20. And some of these things, like, even though they don't even weigh like a pound or a gram, you know, they like, it's just a keychain. I can't afford to, you know, be in the negative to send stuff like that. And I know a lot of you guys understand that, and I'm just giving you guys too much information now. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Smash the like button, like I said, and I'll see you all in tomorrow's video. Peace out. Jamata.